Hello everyone, today I am going to start with another topic of pharmacology, that is antipsychotic drug. So in my previous video I have told briefly about the psychopharmacology, then the various type of mental disorder where we have three type of mental disorder. One is neurosis, then psychosis and affective disorder. Under the neurosis we have anxiety. So neurosis, that is a less severe psychiatric disorder in comparison to the psychosis. Insight of the illness that is present, whereas in psychosis the insight of the illness that is absent and it is a severe psychiatric illness. So neurosis में हमारा क्या क्या आता है? We have a anxiety, we have a phobic state, we have a obsessive compulsive disorder, we have a reactive depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. Whereas under the psychosis, we have organic and a functional psychosis. So organic psychosis where well-defined cause that is there, it may happen in a rabies, in heavy metal poisoning like lead or mercury, in chronic alcoholism. Whereas functional, that is seen in schizophrenia and paranoid state. In affective disorder, this is a disorder that is related with the mood. We have a mania, depression and manic depressive psychosis. Then I told about the sign and symptom of the schizophrenia. What is the schizophrenia? There are important sign and symptom. We have a positive symptoms and we have a negative symptom. Positive symptom, that is something is added. The person will be having hallucination, like mainly it is a visual hallucination, and then there is a delusion, paranoid delusion that is there. Then there will be disturbed thought will be there and behavior of the person will be irrational. Negative symptoms, social withdrawal will be there and lack of motivation is there, and the most important is flattening of the emotional responses, poverty of the speech that will be there. So these are the negative sign and symptom. Then I explained about the pathogenesis of the schizophrenia, inheritance that play important role, then few of the neurotransmitter, and the important is we have a dopamine. There is increased dopaminergic activity, increased 5-HT activity and decreased glutamate activity. Okay, now where the increased dopaminergic activity that is there? So in the brain we have a 4 important pathway, dopaminergic pathway. One is from this ventral tegmental area. This is an important part of the midbrain. From here the fiber they go to the nucleus accumbens. This is a limbic system. So this is a mesolimbic pathway. This frontal cortex, this is mesocortical pathway. Then we have a nigrostriatal pathway and we have a tuberoinfundibular pathway. So one mesolimbic, mesocortical, nigrostriatal and tuberoinfundibular. So these are the 4 pathway. Here there is increased activity of dopaminergic, increased activity here at the number 1 mesolimbic pathway, and that is responsible for the positive sign and symptom of the schizophrenia, whereas decreased activity at the mesocortical, this number 2, that leads to the negative sign and symptom. Now how to treat it? We have to give the psychotherapeutic agent. So psychotherapeutic agent, under this what comes? So we have to give for the psychosis antipsychotic drug. So this comes under the psychotherapeutic agent, which includes, apart from the antipsychotic, antidepressant, mood stabilizing drug or anti-manic and anti-anxiety drug. So if you haven't watched my previous video, I will be giving a link in the description box. You can go and watch that. Now I'll start straightforward with the antipsychotic drug. So what comes under antipsychotic drug? The first hand is a classification of the antipsychotic drug. How we can classify antipsychotic drug or a neuroleptic drug? Okay. So presently we use this terminology, antipsychotic drug. So broadly we can classify it into 2. One is a typical and other one is a atypical. So this is a typical and atypical. This is a broad classification of the antipsychotic. So typical, it is also called as a first generation antipsychotic, and this is a second generation antipsychotic drug. So typical under or a first generation antipsychotic drug, this includes basically phenothiazine, butyrophenol, thioxanthine and other heterocyclic compound. Under the phenothiazine, we have a aliphatic side chain, piperidine and piperazine. Aliphatic side chain, we have two drugs, chlorpromazine and triflupromazine. Piperidine, we have a thioridazine. Piperazine, we have a trifluparazine and fluphenazine. Butyrophenol, we have a haloperidol, trifluparidol and penfluridone. Thioxanthine, we have a flupanthixol. And whereas under the other, we have three drugs, pimozide, loxapine and levosulpiride. Under the atypical antipsychotic drug, we have a clozapine, risperidone, olanzapine, quetiapine, aripiprazole, ziprasidone, amisulpride and a jortipine. So all these drugs. Now, typical and atypical. Now, next comes the mechanism of action of this antipsychotic drug. So, first I will be taking the mechanism of action of typical or first generation antipsychotic drug. So, to make you understand about the mechanism of action, already I have told you the pathogenesis. So, pathogenesis में आपका क्या? There is increased level of dopamine in the mesolimbic pathway that leads to psychosis. Increased level of 5-HT that leads to the psychosis. Now, how the typical or the first generation antipsychotic drug they act? They are basically D2 receptor antagonists. They are going to block this D2 receptor. So, this is a dopaminergic neuron. So, dopamine that is released, it is going to act on D2 receptor. So, first generation or typical antipsychotic drug, first generation or a typical antipsychotic drug, they act by blocking the D2 receptor. So, D2 receptor blockade, that is immediate. Remember one thing, this receptor blockade, it is immediate, but the antipsychotic action that will occur after 2 to 3 weeks. Now, what is the cause of this? So, once we put the patient on typical or a first generation antipsychotic drug, it is going to block both the receptor, this postsynaptic as well as the presynaptic receptor. So, what happens by blocking the presynaptic dopamine receptor? It is going to cause the increased synthesis as well as increased release of dopamine, and this is going to increase the dopamine turnover. So, initially there is increased synthesis and increased release of dopamine. So, ultimately there is increase in the level of dopamine, and even the metabolite of the dopamine, homovanillic acid and dihydroxyphenyl acetic acid, their metabolite in the urine and the blood, that is also increased. Now, what happens later on? Now, because of the increased level of dopamine, what it is going to do? This is going to block further the synthesis as well as the release. So, there will be ultimately what will happen once you give it for a prolonged time, after a certain period, what will happen? This is going to cause a negative feedback inhibition. So, ultimately there is a decreased synthesis and decreased release and decreased turnover and decreased metabolite of this dopamine that will happen. So, this is how antipsychotic drug or first generation antipsychotic drug or typical antipsychotic drug, they are going to act. Now, coming to the first prototype drug, that is a chlorpromazine. So, chlorpromazine, now they are going to act by blocking the D2 receptor. Now, are they going to block the D2 receptor only at one side? No. So, they are going to block. So, typical antipsychotic drug, they are going to block the D2 receptor at all the sides, the non-selective blockade that is there. So, they are going to block the receptor here. This is a mesolimbic pathway, and here also, here and here. So, at all the 4 sites, they are going to block the receptor. Now, what action? And even at the CTZ center, they are going to block the dopamine receptor even at the CTZ center, chemoreceptor trigger zone. Now, by blocking here at the mesolimbic system, what they are going to do? They are going to exert the antipsychotic effect. So all the positive sign and symptom will be suppressed. By acting on the mesocortical pathway, they are going to aggravate the negative symptoms. By acting on CTZ, it is going to exert the anti-emetic side effect. So anti-emetic, action. By nigrostriatal, by blocking the D2 receptor at the nigrostriatal pathway, they are going to produce the extrapyramidal sign and symptom. And by blocking the D2 receptor at the tuberoinfundibular pathway, they are going to block the release of various hormones, that includes growth hormone, gonadotropin hormone, ACTH hormone, and especially this PIH, prolactin inhibitory hormone. See, prolactin, that is under the control of two, prolactin releasing hormone and prolactin inhibitory hormone. Prolactin inhibitory hormone, chemically it is a dopamine. So we are giving dopamine antagonist. So they are going to block this prolactin inhibitory hormone. So ultimately they are going to increase the level of prolactin. So what happens? All the hormonal level will be decreased except the prolactin. So prolactin level, that is increased. So this is going to cause the amenorrhea and hyperprolactinemia in females, whereas gynecomastia in the males. Now coming to the second one, now this chlorpromazine, CPZ here, it shows chlorpromazine. So chlorpromazine, it acts by blocking the not only dopamine receptor at all the site, it also block the 5-HT2 receptor. So 5-HT2 receptor, by blocking this 5-HT2 receptor, it has got all the side effect related with the metabolic syndrome, like there will be weight gain, it can cause the precipitation of the diabetes, it can increase the level of even triglyceride. Then another receptor which chlorpromazine it is going to block, that is H1 receptor. So by blocking H1 receptor, it is going to cause the sedation, confusion, forgetfulness. Okay, ये आ जाएंगे. Then the fourth one, it is also going to block the muscarinic or M1 receptor. So atropinic like side effect will be there. There will be atropinic side effect कौन से होते हैं? There will be dry mouth, there will be blurring of the vision, urinary retention and constipation. This is how chlorpromazine it is going to act. So by this, now what are all the action will be there with the chlorpromazine on the central nervous system, what it is going to do? So what will happen by blocking D2 receptor at the mesolimbic pathway? What it is going to do? It is going to suppress the positive symptoms like hallucination and delusion. It will be suppressed. Disturbed thought will be normalized. Irrational behavior, aggressiveness, irrational irrational behavior, agitation or aggressiveness will be normalized. Sleep pattern will be regained. Then intelligence and cognitive part, that is not affected. What else it can cause? It is going to decrease the seizure threshold. Okay, so person will be more prone for epilepsy. Then anti-emetic action will be seen. Then another one is even temperature control, that is knockdown. Higher center, medullary center, respiratory center, other vital center, they are affected only at high dose. जितनी हम dose देते हैं, it is not going to affect that. So this is its action on the central nervous system. On the autonomic nervous system, they are going to block alpha receptor, alpha 1 and muscarinic receptor. By blocking the alpha 1 receptor, so receptor blocking profile, it varies from drug to drug. Few drug, they block it, like chlorpromazine, that has got the highest. So by blocking this, it is going to cause the postural hypotension and reflex tachycardia will be there. By blocking muscarinic receptor like thioridazone, that has got the maximum muscarinic receptor blocking capacity among the first generation. So they are going to produce a atropinic like side effect. Under the endocrinological, all the hormonal level they are decreased except the prolactin. So by that you can write, if you know the receptor profile, you can write the pharmacological action and you can derive the side effect too. No, so this is all about chlorpromazine. We give it by oral route, and if you want consistent effect, because with the oral route and absorption that is unpredictable, but if you want consistent effect, we can give it by IM or IV route. Volume of distribution, that is large, around 20 to 30 liter per kg. It is a, and elimination half-life is around 18 to 20 hours. So this is all about the chlorpromazine. So we have covered the prototype drug of antipsychotic, that is chlorpromazine. What about the rest of the drug? So rest of the drug, they differ in potency and in propensity to cause different effects. Let's see in the next table how the rest of the antipsychotic drug they differ from with the prototype drug, that is chlorpromazine. So this table I have taken it from the Lippincott. So by looking at this table, you can make out the differentiating point of rest of the antipsychotic drug with the chlorpromazine. So I will be taking first the first generation or the conventional or the typical antipsychotic drug, okay? Conventional or a first generation, or we can say the typical antipsychotic drug, okay? So here we have covered so far the chlorpromazine, this, so all the effect of the chlorpromazine. So chlorpromazine, they act by blocking mainly D2 receptor. So this table, the dose, the first line, dose. So what the dose, it tells if the less dose we have to give, that means drug it is more potent. So if I go through this one, first generation, it is a haloperidol. Okay, that is the most potent. So if the drug it is the most potent, it is going to bind avidly with the D2 receptor. So you know D2 receptor, they are present in the mesolimbic, mesocortical, nigrostriatal and tuberoinfundibular pathway in all. So by acting on the mesolimbic system, they are going to exert the antipsychotic effect. But by binding with the nigrostriatal pathway, they are going to exert the extrapyramidal side effect. So if the drug is more potent, extrapyramidal side effect will be more. With the haloperidol you can see, and with the piperazine, trifluparazine and fluphenazine, here also you can see the extrapyramidal side effect more in comparison to this aliphatic and piperidine. Thioridazone के साथ भी आपका कम है extrapyramidal side effect, and with the triflupromazine इसके साथ भी in comparison to this, whereas loxapen, this also shows the extrapyramidal side effect. So where else D2 receptor, they are the tuberoinfundibular pathway. So this last, this one, increased prolactin. So this, so increased prolactin, that is this last one. You can see increased prolactin with all the first generation or typical antipsychotic drug. Now, what are the other effect of this? Like if I take up the triflupromazine in comparison to chlorpromazine, it is more potent. Okay, this dose is 100 to 600, इसको कितने देनी 5 to 30, and where we can use it mainly, it is used as an antiemetic. Then coming to the next one, thioridazone. it is potent, but in comparison to this triflupromazine, in comparison to this haloperidol, in comparison to this, it is not that potent. So that's why extrapyramidal side effect, that is less. And what is the important point about the thioridazone? So thioridazone, if I go this table this way horizontally, okay, this autonomic effect. Autonomic effect means its action on the alpha receptor and muscarinic receptor. So this drug, autonomic effects, that is alpha and muscarinic, especially the muscarinic receptor. So this is going to block the muscarinic receptor. So here I will just show you. So in the brain, we have a balance between dopamine and this acetylcholine. Don't write the muscarinic. It is a balance between the dopamine and acetylcholine. Now antipsychotic drug, they are going to block this. Okay? They are going to block this, and then what will happen? There will be a relative increase in the concentration of acetylcholine, which is going to produce the extrapyramidal side effect. Now, in case of thioridazone, it is potent muscarinic receptor blocker. So here this anticholinergic, effect will be, this acetylcholine effect will be less, because it blocks the muscarinic receptor. So if we are going to put the patient on chlorpromazine, इसमें क्या है? The anticholinergic side effects, so or cholinergic side effect will be more, like extrapyramidal side effect will be there. So to block that, what we are going to give to, we want to restore the balance. ठीक है, आपने अगर chlorpromazine दी, this is going to block this, then relative increase in acetylcholine will be there. Then how we are going to treat? We are going to bring it again back. We are going to put the patient on anticholinergic drugs. But if any drug, if it is going to block this muscarinic receptor, it is having the anticholinergic action, then this balance does not disturb. Then here anticholinergic drug, it is of no use, rather it is going to aggravate the condition. So this is the difference of the thioridazone with the rest of the drug. So इसमें क्या आप anticholinergic drug नहीं देते, rather if the patient is on with the chlorpromazine showing the extrapyramidal side effect, then you would change the drug, put the patient on second generation, and if the patient cannot afford, we can put the patient on thioridazone. Okay, so this is an important point about the thioridazone. Then coming to the trifluparazine and fluphenazine. So they are potent, already I have told. So extrapyramidal side effect, they are seen with this. Prolactin, that is also seen. What about this autonomic? Autonomic effect in comparison to this, it is less. In comparison to rest of these drugs, autonomic side effect, they are less. With the haloperidol, it is a minimum. This is the most commonly used drug, most potent and most commonly used drug in various psychotic disorders. The first generation की बात करें तो maximum this is the most commonly used, because extrapyramidal side effect इसमें आपके क्या है? They are there. It is a potent. Autonomic effects, they are not there. Okay, and where if you see the rest of the column, this sedation, what this sedation says? Sedation says it's a H1 blocking capacity. So H1 histamine receptor, they are going to, if the drug blocks H1 receptor, it is going to cause a sedation, forgetfulness, confusion, that will be there. So it is seen very commonly with the chlorpromazine, triflupromazine, then thioridazine, इसके साथ भी आती है आपकी, then trifluparazine, this piperazine derivative, but the minimum is with this haloperidol. And then if we see the metabolic side effect, this is seen with the chlorpromazine. If you see the rest of the drug, यहाँ पे lipid and this profile, this is not disturbed. They are not going to precipitate the diabetes. They are not going to cause a hyperlipidemia. It is only with the chlorpromazine, because chlorpromazine that also blocks the 5-HT2 receptor. ठीक है, इसको भी ये ब्लॉक करती है. So it is going to exert all these metabolic complications with the chlorpromazine. promazine. So this is all about the differentiating point of first generation or a typical antipsychotic drug. Now coming to the second generation or atypical antipsychotic drug. Now how this drug it is going to act, what is its mechanism of action. So atypical antipsychotic drug, they are going to block both. So you must know the differentiating point between the typical and atypical, how this drug it is going to act. So atypical, they are going to block both 5-HT2A and dopamine receptor. So instead of like typical mainly D2, this is mainly 5-HT2A and D2 receptor. Let's see in the next slide. So atypical drug, by blocking this 5-HT2A receptor, now what is the action of the serotonin? Serotonin, it is going to inhibit serotonin. Normally, it inhibits dopamine release. Now, if the drug it is blocking this 5-HT2, then it is going to cause the release of this dopamine from the dopaminergic neuron. So this is a difference between the typical and atypical. So typical, atypical one, it is going to cause a serotonin, it inhibits the dopamine release. So if we are going to block, अगर हम इसको block कर देते, if we are going to block this, then what will happen? There will be release of dopamine. Okay. Second thing is, this group of drug, they do not bind so avidly with the D2 receptor. That binding, it binds and it associate and dissociate very rapidly. So dopaminergic transmission, that is not as much affected as with the typical antipsychotic. So extrapyramidal side effect, they are less. So dopaminergic neurotransmission, it is not that much effective with the atypical. तभी इसमें क्या है? Extrapyramidal side effect, they are very less, except one or two which is going to produce the extrapyramidal side effect. Otherwise, it is not seen with the atypical. This is advantage of atypical antipsychotic drug over the typical one. So differentiating point आपका क्या होगा? Number one is a receptor blocking profile आपका. So this is different. So mainly they are going to block 5-HT2A receptor. Okay. Number two is extrapyramidal side effect. It is LS. I'll come to another 3-4 points later on. Now, this other way of making it understand why extrapyramidal side effect, they are less with atypical. Suppose there is a one scale from 0 to 10. This is a dopaminergic scale. And for the antipsychotic action, यहाँ पे आप कर देते हैं 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. Okay. So to exert the antipsychotic action, it should block this in between 6 and 7. Okay. इतना block होना चाहिए 6 and 7. If any drug, this is a to exert antipsychotic effect. But for the extrapyramidal side effect to occur, it should block between the 8 and 9. Now, the typical one, so this is आपका ये dopamine scale हो गया. Now, the typical one, what they are going to do, they are going to block this scale till here. They are going to block this dopamine. So, antipsychotic action will be there and extrapyramidal side effect will be also same. Now, what happens with the atypical? Atypical, they also block the same. But what happens, there is a release of dopamine. So, what will happen? it will come only up till here. So antipsychotic effect will be there, whereas extrapyramidal side effect, that is not seen with the atypical antipsychotic. This is the mechanism of action of atypical antipsychotic drug. Then it is effective against the negative symptoms. So this is another differentiating point, is effective against, whereas the typical one, they are not effective against the negative symptom, because negative symptom is due to decrease in the level of dopamine in the mesocortical pathway. So typical one, they are again going to decrease the dopamine even in the mesocortical pathway, whereas this is not seen with the atypical. So effective against both positive and negative symptoms. It is used in a refractory cases. ठीक है, इसमें करते हैं. Then it is expensive, costly है आपका. Then इसमें side effect कौन से? Because this drug they are going to act by blocking this 5-HT2A receptor. So metabolic complication they are seen with this drug. Whereas in typical, it is only chlorpromazine which is showing the precipitation of the diabetes and hyperlipidemia, and rest of the typical drug they do not show the metabolic complication, whereas with the atypical, except 1 or 2, rest of the drug they show the metabolic complication. Okay. Now just look at the differentiating point of the second generation drug or atypical one. Here already I have written the receptor blocking profile of the atypical or a second generation drug. Like if I take up the first drug, clozapine. So if you know which receptor it is going to block, then you can write its pharmacological action, its adverse effect. Like this drug, it is mainly going to block this 5-HT2 receptor, and with a very weak activity for the D2 receptor. So what will happen? If it does not bind very avidly with D2 receptor, then extrapyramidal, you can see plus minus extrapyramidal side effect, they are very less with the clozapine. Okay, so clozapine आपका I will write in the next. So it is, drug is clozapine, weak D2 binding activity, so less extrapyramidal side effect. So it binds mainly with the D4 receptor and 5-HT2A receptor. So by binding with this, it is going to exert the antipsychotic effect. So it is effective. This is the first atypical antipsychotic drug which was effective against both the positive and the negative symptoms of the schizophrenia, and even it was used for the refractory cases also. So antipsychotic effect आ जाएगा इसका. Then what about the other receptor blocking profile? This one. This is going to autonomic effects, they are there. That means it is going to block the alpha receptor also. So there will be hypotension, postural hypotension will be there, and tachycardia, reflex tachycardia, it is seen. Now it is going to block the muscarinic receptor. So atropine like side effect that will be there. But यहाँ पे क्या है? With the atropine there is a dry mouth, blurring of the vision, urinary retention and constipation. Now all the symptoms will be the same, except it does not show the dry mouth. It is showing hypersalivation. So paradoxical effect. So usually what happens, if any drug it blocks M1 receptor, it shows a dry mouth. लेकिन clozapine के साथ क्या है? It is showing the hypersalivation. What are other receptor? It is also going to block the histamine receptor. So sedation, that is there. Sedation and confusion is there. So now by blocking this 5-HT2A receptor, antipsychotic effect they are seen. But what about the rest of the thing? Metabolic complication. So you can see the weight gain that is seen with this drug, precipitation of the diabetes and hyperlipidemia. Okay? So almost with the atypical also we can see the prolactin level that is there, and it is more with the risperidone in comparison to rest. So increasing prolactin level that is there even with the atypical or second generation antipsychotic, and it is in comparison to rest of the drug, proportionately risperidone, the increase in prolactin level, it is more. So this is about the clozapine. So side effect में इसमें आपका क्या आएगा? Hypersalivation, that is there. Then precipitation of the diabetes, hyperlipidemia is there, weight gain is there, sedation, आप and alpha 1 वाले side effect लिख दो, muscarinic वाले लिख दो, H1 receptor के लिख दो. And apart from that, the most important side effect, that is, which I want all of you to remember, is agranulocytosis. Okay? So this is dangerous side effect. So if agranulocytosis it happens, person may be prone for the infection. So when we are going to put the patient on clozapine, a weekly count or weekly हम patient को बोलते हैं CBC count, that is mandatory. And if it starts decreasing, then you have to stop the clozapine because it is a reversible. So because of this side effect, it is now not used. We keep it as a reserve drug and we use it only for the refractory cases. So this is about the clozapine. Now coming to the second drug. Second is आपकी आ गई हमारी olanzapine. ठीक है? So half life, this clozapine, it is metabolized in the liver by one. इसकी भी बेटा metabolism कैसे है? Metabolism, if you want to remember, because if you are going to read it, then only it is you can remember. Otherwise, it is 1A, 2, 2C19 and 3A4. It is metabolized by this. So इसमें भी आपके enzyme inducer or inhibitor, that side effect will be there. And half life of this drug, it is 12 hours. Now coming to the next one, olanzapine, it is just like the clozapine. इसके भी receptor blocking profile, that is same. You can see in the next one. So receptor blocking profile, that is almost same. Okay, it is more potent in comparison to the clozapine. Then extrapyramidal side effect, you can say autonomic effects, they are less. Sedation and rest of the things, they are almost same with the olanzapine. But olanzapine, it is a broad spectrum antipsychotic effect, so we can use it for the schizoaffective psychosis. It is used even as an antidepressant भी आपकी यूज हो जाती है, mania में भी हो जाती है, schizoaffective psychosis. It's a broad spectrum. And the only difference with the olanzapine with the clozapine is the agranulocytosis, that is not seen with the olanzapine. With the half-life of this drug, it is more in comparison to the clozapine. It's a 24 hours, that is the only difference. It's a broad spectrum, we can use it at many places, and otherwise side effect profile, it is just like a clozapine, only agranulocytosis, that is not seen. Now coming to the next one, that is quetiapine. ठीक है, क्विटापिन का आपका क्या है? इट इज अगेन 5-HT2 and D2 receptor. It is also quetiapine 200. It is less potent in comparison to the olanzapine. And but extrapyramidal side effect इसके भी कम है. Autonomic effects, that is seen. H1 receptor blocking profile, it is there. Metabolic complications, see in the first and second, clozapine and olanzapine, metabolic complications, they are more, whereas with the rest of the drug, it is less. Rather, in the ziprasidone and aripiprazole, the metabolic side effect, they are not seen with that. So quetiapine, what is important here? That sedation, this. So they are going to produce what? Even if the person is insomniac, it is going to cause a sleepiness. And second one is with the quetiapine, it is going to prolong the QTC. And same thing is seen with even with the ziprasidone. So this is about the quetiapine. It acts only for the 6 hours. Then coming to the risperidone. Risperidone is also the same. The only thing is the prolactin level. That's hyperprolactinemia. It is more potent in comparison to rest of the drug. You can see here the potency of this drug. It is more in comparison to rest of the atypical. That's why you can see the extrapyramidal side effect, that is more with this, and that is seen with this drug, not more, that is seen. And hyperprolactinemia, that is also there with the risperidone. So this is a differentiating point of risperidone with the other. And in the elderly, इसकी क्या है side effect? Hyperprolactinemia आपका आ गया, and even in the elderly, few of the patient we have reported the strokes. Next atypical is Ziprasidone. This is also 5-HT2 and D2, both the same. Okay. So other difference with the Ziprasidone is it is also going to cause the QTc prolongation. So cardiac arrhythmia, इसकी metabolic complication that is not seen here, and even weight gain is also not seen, but autonomic side effect they are also less, but cardiac QTc prolongation that is very commonly seen with the Ziprasidone because they also block the potassium channel with the Ziprasidone. Now another one is aripiprazole. So what is the aripiprazole? The important point with the aripiprazole, it is a agonist. ठीक है, aripiprazole आपका क्या है? It is the dopamine agonist. And 5-HT1A. It is an agonist at this, not exactly agonist, it is a rather we will say partial agonist. So what is a partial agonist? Partial agonist which has got the full affinity, that is it is going to bind with the receptor, but intrinsic activity is less. Then what will happen? It is going to bind with the receptor, but what will happen that the dopaminergic endogenous dopamine, they cannot act. So this is how aripiprazole it differs. Otherwise it is a 5-HT2A antagonist. So antipsychotic action is because of that. So you can see here aripiprazole, extrapyramidal side effect they are less, autonomic side effect they are also less, sedation, muscarinic effect इसके साथ आते हैं, autonomic में भी alpha muscarinic blocking action that is not seen, H1 receptor blocking action that is also not seen, metabolic complication that is also not seen with this group of drug. So it's only the important is half life, that is very long, 3 days. So we use it for the maintenance. A few of the GIT effects they are reported with this. So in today's video, what I have mainly focused the difference between the first generation and the second generation antipsychotic drug, like typical and atypical antipsychotic drug. So you can see here the typical and atypical antipsychotic drug, then how the first generation drug, what is its mechanism of action, and how the second generation group of drug they are going to act, and then important points with the differentiating point among the first generation and the second generation. So remember one thing, with the first generation they act by blocking the D2 receptor, so extrapyramidal side effect they are more common, whereas the second generation or the atypical one they are going to act mainly by blocking 5-HT2A receptor, so there they are going to show the metabolic complication. And apart from that, what are the other receptor blocking profile? They also block the alpha-1 receptor, muscarinic receptor, H1 receptor. So different drug they are going to act in their inhibition to these receptor. It varies. The percentage it varies. So this is all about today's video. So see you in the next video. So in the next video, I will be taking up the therapeutic uses of antipsychotic drug and its important side effect. So if you like my video, please share it and subscribe my channel.